Alrighty. Howdy Neighbors, and welcome back to Corpse Party Book of Shadows. Last time, we found out that Miss Yui, at least in this scene, is sick, and I believe we are in the middle of a dream sequence. Also, it's like the most non-threatening chapter so far, and I don't know if that's disappointing or not. Anyway, let's continue. From then on, Tsukasa and I met in the courtyard many times. We didn't really talk in the halls, but something about that place spurred our conversation.
あ、またお前コーヒー牛乳かよ。
Cafe late again.
うん。好きすぎだろ、コーヒー牛乳。
Doesn't it get a little old?
そんなことないよ。
Just this so I can see shit. And you still hear me? Not really.
一日に最低2本は飲んでるくせにか？
You drink at least 2 a day though, right?
なんで知ってるの？
Hey, how'd you know that?
自販機でいつもそれ買ってるの。ここから見えるんだよ。
Seen it with my own eyes. There's a perfect view of the vending machine from here after all.
え？
There is.
ほら、そっち見てみ。
Yeah, I mean, it's right there.
本当だ。
Oh wow, no kidding.
昼休みも放課後もいつもシシドがコーヒー牛乳買ってるのバッチリ見てたからな。
Doesn't matter if it's after school or summer break. Shishido buying cafe à late is like old faithful. You could set your watch by now.
そんなこと言ったら、私だって司くんがここのベンチに座ってるのいつも見てたよ。
Then I guess we're even since I was using it on this bench.
いや、知ってるけどなんでまた言う？
What, you're back on that again?
お互い気になってたんだなって思ったから。
Sure am. I guess I just find it interesting that we both notice each other's freaky habits.
なんだそりゃ。
Weirdo.
中庭での会話はたわいのないものがほとんどだった。教室で友達と繰り広げる会話みたいにあんまり中身がなくて、でもすごく楽しくて。
Our conversations in the courtyard were usually just silly. It was like talking to an old friend in class, shallow but genuinely enjoyable.
この場所、夏でも結構涼しいね。
It's always so cool here, even in summer.
夏とか言うな。
Ugh, don't mention the summer.
あれ？夏嫌い？
Why? You don't like it?
夏期講習が目前に迫ってたら誰でも嫌いになるだろう。
No, summer school right around the corner. That'd be enough to make anyone run for the hills.
まあね。私たち3年生だもんね。夏だからって遊んではいられないよね。
Ha ha, I guess so. But we're seniors now. It comes with the territory, you know? The time for fun and games is over.
お前は随分と楽しそうだけどな。
Oh no, you seem like you're still having a lot of fun to me.
私は夢に近づいてるって実感できて嬉しいよ。
Well, I'm a bit of a special case. I'm just happy because I feel like my dream might actually come true.
ふん。
Oh?
私ね、人に勉強を教えるの好きなんだ。頼られるのも好き。
I just enjoy teaching things to people and having others depend on me.
なんで？
Why is that?
お姉さんになった感じがするからかな。ほら、私一人っ子だし。
I guess it makes me feel like a big sister or something. It's since I'm an only child, you know.
ああ、うん。まあ頑張れば。
Okay. Well, good luck with that then.
はすっごいどうでもよさそう。
Wow, that was about as dismissive of a comment as you can get.
だって人事だしな。
Hey, not like I could do anything about it, you know?
そんなことを言いながらも、司くんはやっぱり優しかった。だって私の夢を笑ったりはしなかったから。
Despite his occasional boorishness, I still felt that Tsukasa was a kind soul. If nothing else, he never actually laughed at my dream.
先生になりたいって夢を話すと、大抵の人は笑ったり 茶化したりであんまり真剣に聞いてくれない。
And in the high school crowd, most people don't take you very seriously when you say you're trying to be a teacher.
だけど司くんは一度も笑わなかったんだ。
Tsukasa just wasn't like most people, I guess. The season was quickly turning to autumn. Oh god, where did the time go? Fuck, it was just about to be summer. Oh no! Oh fuck, she's crying. After the school day ended, the senior floor was always a lot more quiet than its underclassmen counterparts. Everyone was off studying hard in the library or with tutors. So one day, thinking no one else was around, I sat down in the lonely corner of the hallway. Initially, I had grabbed my shoes and left the classroom, intending to head home, but along the way I started crying. I was overwhelmed. My sobs echoed from one end of the hallway to the other. Man, if I had $1 for every time during school I cried because I was overwhelmed, I wouldn't even need a job right now. You know, just in school in general, I could retire. The American retirement, too.
この日、私は無事に志望校の推薦枠に入れてもらえることになった。
That day, I had finally received a special recommendation to my top choice university.
嬉しくて仕方がなかった私はすぐに友達に報告した。けれど、いつもなら手放しで喜んでくれるその子がふと表情を曇らせた。
I was so excited, I just wanted to tell someone. So I told my friend Tomoe. But her usually supportive demeanor took a somewhat harsher edge.
私の前でそんなこと言うんだ。まだ私は夢も何も決まってないのに。
Quit rubbing it in my face. You know, I'm still totally undecided about my future, right?
多分私はひどくショックを受けた顔になっていたのだと思う。巴はすぐにハッとしたように目を見開き、慌てて謝ってくれた。
My expression must have changed pretty drastically. Tomoe's eyes suddenly widened and she quickly apologized.
だから私も笑って気にしてないよってそう言ったのだけれど。
So I smiled and told her I didn't care. That's what I said anyway.
気にしてないわけがない。巴の言葉と表情が鋭い針のようになって私の胸をつく。
But how couldn't I care? Tomoe's dismissive words struck me like a dagger to my chest.
私考えなしだったのかな。
I'm so insensitive sometimes.
他のみんなも同じこと思ってた。
I wonder if everyone else feels the same about me. I kept wiping the tears from my eyes, only for new ones to take their place immediately. Why didn't I think of this sooner? So many people were still facing uncertain futures, with no real goals in mind. And I was completely oblivious to it. I was the one with a dream, running around like the cock of the walk, and blabbering about my success and aspirations. I wouldn't blame them if they hated me. Could someone so insensitive to the feelings of so many other people really become a teacher? Did I ever even have what it takes to begin with?
シシド
Shishido.
声をかけられて振り向くと、そこには司くんが立っていた。
Quickly turned to the voice that had called out to me and found Tsukasa standing
い
there.
つもは廊下であっても言葉を交わすことなんてないのに、この日はごく自然に声をかけてくれた。
We'd never said a word before when passing each other in the hall. But he spoke to me that day with no reservations, as if we were old chums.
司くん。
Tsukasa.
すごい顔だぞ。ハンカチは
Face the mess, you have a handkerchief.
持ってる。
Yeah,
じゃあ顔拭けよ。
then wipe your face. Okay.
司くんが戸惑っている空気がひしひしと伝わってきた。彼を困らせたくなかったから、私はこぼれ落ちていこうとする涙を必死に拭う。
Tsukasa's concern and confusion was clearly written on his face. I didn't want to cause him any trouble or worry him, so I began frantically wiping my eyes.
何かあったのか？
Something happened.
何もないよ。
No, everything's fine.
何かあったからそんなに泣いてんだろ？
You're crying an awful lot for someone who's got no problems.
これは友達とちょっと気まずくなっちゃって。
No, it's just there was a little misunderstanding between a friend and I.
でもすぐに仲直りしたから大丈夫。これはさ、そう嬉し涙みたいなものだから。
We patched it up right away. So, it's alright, really. It's alright, you know, something like tears of happiness, I guess.
ふーん。
嬉し涙って言えばね、私推薦枠に入れることになっ。
Yep, see, I just found out I got that rec up. I'm not sure if I did it out of respect for Tsukasa, or just because I wanted to change the subject, but I cut myself off mid-sentence. I was doing it again. What was I thinking? Not even Tsukasa was going to hate me for being a braggart. Hell, I hated myself. I was the worst, just the worst. But
マジか！
But really? He was happy for me? A bit taken aback. I nodded for him.
やったじゃんか！おめでとう！
You did it then. Congrats.
ありがとう。
Yeah, thanks.
ありが。
Thank you.
だからなんで泣くんだよ。
So it's with the waterworks.
まだ推薦枠が決まったってだけで推薦入試があるんだろ？
Even with the recommendation, you still have to take the entrance exam, right? Yeah.
嬉し泣きするほど喜ぶにはまだ早いだろ
So isn't it a little early to be crying tears of joy?
そうだよね。
Yeah, maybe so.
でもそうやっておめでとうって言ってもらえたからなんか嬉しくて。
I was just really happy that you congratulated me.
う。たく。
Oh, come on now.
ごめんね。
Sorry.
何が？
For what?
泣いたりしてわけわかんないよね。
For crying like this without even knowing why.
そう思ってんなら早く泣きやめって。
If you don't know why you're doing it, then how about you hurry up and dry those eyes? Tsukasa, you're kind of an ass.
もう大丈夫だから。
Sure, I think I'm fine now anyway.
たく。
I swear. As I rubbed my swollen eyes, a smile broke through, and Tsukasa let out an exasperated sigh. Then, as if suddenly remembering something, his eyes lit up.
そうだシシド、ちょっと待ってろ。
Oh, hey, wait here a sec. Okay. Tsukasa ran into his classroom, quickly reappearing in the hall again, just moments later. He was holding something.
お前にこれやるよ。
Here, I want you to have this.
鉛筆？
A pencil? The fuck? In his outstretched hand rested a short, stubby little pencil. Not the sort of thing you'd expect someone to go out of their way to lend you. It was poked here and there with small scratches, but it still seemed to be in relatively decent shape considering how obviously well worn it was.
受験必勝鉛筆。
A pencil for guaranteed success.
受験必勝？
Guaranteed success.
これ使うと試験に受かるんだよ。
Use it on your test and you'll pass it for sure. What?
本当に？
Really? What the hell is this?
ああ、如月学園に受かるのは難しいって言われてた俺がこれ使って受かったんだから間違いないよ。
Yep, they told me I'd never pass the entrance exam for Kisaragi Academy, but well, here I am. And I owe it all to this pencil. No. Tsukasa, no. Give yourself the credit, dude.
じゃあこれ司くんが高校入試の時に使った鉛筆なんだ。
So this is the same pencil you were using back when you took your high school application tests.
そう、経験新たかな鉛筆だぜ。
Sure is, he really juked out a miracle. What the fuck? This is not the corpse party I know.
霊言新たかね。
I sure you mean worked out a miracle, right? No, that's the thing either.
あ、それだ。
Yeah, that. はは。
それじゃあ借りるね。ありがとう。
At any rate, I shall happily take you up on your kind offer. Thanks.
言っとくけど、貸すのは推薦入試までだからな。一般入試の時は俺が使うから返してもらう。
But listen, I'm only lending it to you until you finish your tests. You'll have to give it back afterwards so I can use it for my entrance exams. Okay.
だから推薦絶対受かれよ。
Whatever you do, don't fail the exam. Right.
鉛筆を受け取り笑顔でうなずく。今度は司くんも笑ってくれた。
It wasn't even the corpse party, you got the thing kind of a sound, you know? Boo. I took the pencil and nodded, smiling. This time, Tsukasa returned my smile.
人の気持ちまで勝手に思いやって背負い込んで、悲しみまで自分のものにして。お前みたいなのが先生になれたらいいのにな。
You're a really unique person, you know that? It's hard to believe how much you let other people's problems get to you. You'll make an amazing teacher. What? For a moment, I had no idea what he was talking about. But then it hit me. Tsukasa had somehow sussed out from my conversation that I was crying because I had upset Tomoe. And he was turning that fact around to offer me encouragement.
頑張れよ。負けんなよ。
Good luck. Don't let it get to you. Flutter? You don't say. Oh my my.
頑張れって言葉は辛い時にはプレッシャーになるから言っちゃダメってよく聞く。
I heard you shouldn't wish someone luck in times of stress, as it just adds more pressure. That's why people tell actors to break a leg instead.
けれど私はこの優しい言葉が大好きだった。
But I didn't care, taboo or no, I cherish his kind words.
私頑張るね、司くん。
I'll do my best, Tsukasa.
おう。
Glad to hear it.
この日から私はどんどん司くんに惹かれていった。
That's when I really started to fall for him. Oh my my! And we're in high school, so it's totally gonna last.
彼は全然そっけなくてちっとも振り向いてはくれなかったけれど。
But it didn't seem like he noticed, and there wasn't really any indication that he felt the same way anyway. I could so clearly recall the events of that day even now. It was October, the day before my entrance exam. The weather outside had been miserable since morning, and visibility was all but non-existent. It would be a bad omen if I were to slip and fall on the day before the exam, so I decided I'd wear boots to school, just to be safe.
行ってきます。
See you later. Hmm? Oh no, oh no, oh no. When I opened the door, I was shocked to see a white-haired old woman lying on the ground, soaked to the bone. I frantically rushed over to her side.
おばあさん、大丈夫ですか？
Are you okay?
しっかりしてください。どうしたんですか？
Now this is the corpse party vibe I've been looking for. Stay with me, come on, tell me what happened.
まさかひき逃げとか。
Was it a hit and run? The road running by my house was narrow and mostly used only by our neighbors. But it's not like it was closed off to the outside traffic or anything, so a hit and run wasn't out of the question. I looked over the old woman's body as best I could. Fortunately, there were no signs of any serious injury.
よかった。事故とかじゃないみたい。
Doesn't seem like a car accident at least.
娘
Young lady.
はい。
Yes.
今日は学校へ行ってはならん。
You must not go to school today. How do you explain that to your mom? You're like, okay, so listen. I was walking to school, and this random old woman who was laying down on the ground told me I shouldn't go to school today. So naturally I listened, and I was like, you know what? You are so right. I will not go to school today. Thank you so much for letting me know. Like, what the fuck? What?
絶対に行ってはならん。
You absolutely must not go. Huh? The old woman raised herself up slightly and spoke hoarsely. From the tone in her voice, she seemed terribly desperate.
だけど今日は面接の最後の練習があってね。
But I have to. Today's my last chance to practice for a college entrance interview.
行ってはならんと言っている。
No, just stay home. Don't go.
そういうわけにはいかないよ。面接は私が一番苦手とする試験だから。
I have to go. The interview is part of the exam on Morstead.
それよりおばあちゃんどうしたの？お家の人は？
Please tell me what's wrong. Where's your family?
どうしてもか。
Will you?
どうしても行くというのか。
Will you go no matter what?
うん。
Yeah.
ならばせめて。
In that case, please. Not knowing what to say, I nodded apprehensively as the old woman began digging through her pockets. She produced what looked to be a crumpled scrap of paper. As she was digging around, I noted that her breathing had become dangerously ragged. I began considering my options for a sister. Really, I should have gone back into the house and called my mom. But there was something about her that kept me glued to the spot. I sensed desperation hiding in that unbroken gaze.
これを受け取りなされ。
You must take this.
何？
What is it?
お守りじゃ。
A charm.
お守り？
A charm. 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 The old woman clutched my wrist forcefully, pressed the scrap of paper into my palm. Tilting my head, I unfolded the scrap and looked carefully at it. At first, I thought I'd just been handed a piece of trash. What? But when I unfolded it all the way, I saw that it was actually a paper doll in the shape of a human being. And there was a name written on the torso. Yui Shishido. What? 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 Yes, my name. Written plain as day in easily legible brushstrokes.
どうして私の名前？
Why is my name on it?
お守りだからじゃ。
So I can protect you.
守る対象の名を書かねば身代わりにはならんだろう。
You don't write the name of the person you wish to protect, the charm won't work. crazy. This was all crazy. I don't understand any of it. Except for one simple fact. This old woman was here specifically to give me this strange paper charm. As far as I were aware, we were total strangers to one another, but she clearly knew both my name and my address.
やだ。
No. No.
ごめんなさい。せっかくだけど、私これいらないから。
I'm sorry. I know you came a long way to give it to me, but I don't want it.
いらない。やっと。
You don't want it. As I extended my arm to return the paper doll, I could sense her entire demeanor had changed. She raised her body up unsteadily in the wet asphalt.
どうしてじゃ。
Why not? Well,
わしが身を削って訪ねてやっているのに、なぜ誰もわしの言うことを聞かんのじゃ。
I nearly killed myself bringing this to you. Why will no one listen to me?
受け取らぬなら絶対に天神賞に行ってはならん。
You must not enter Heavenly Host Elementary without this charm.
天神賞？
Heavenly Host Elementary?
そうじゃ。行くな。行くな。
Yes, you must not go. Don't go. What the fuck? As this old woman cried out, the paper doll fluttered lightly to the ground. Almost instantaneously, it became soaked through with rainwater. My name began to run and quickly turn into an illegible black smudge. Seeing this, the old woman grabbed and tore at her hair.
お守りが。
No.
これでもう抗う術は失われてしまった。
The charm. The way out has been lost.
おばあちゃん、落ち着いて。
Ma'am, please calm down.
よいか。絶対に天神賞に行ってはならん。
Listen, you must not go to Heavenly Host Elementary.
待って、おばあちゃん。私の学校は如月学園だよ。天神賞なんて知らない。
I think there's been some kind of mistake. My school is Kisaragi Academy High. I've never heard of Heavenly Host Elementary. Attractive.
おばあちゃん。
Ma'am? Oh god.
お母さん、大変。
Mom, come quick.
どうしたの？
What's wrong?
家の前で知らないおばあちゃんが倒れてるの。救急車呼んで。
A woman collapsed in front of our house. Call an ambulance.
わかったわ。
Okay. Paramedics arrived in a matter of minutes. The old woman seemed to be unconscious by that point, however. So the EMTs brought out a stretcher.
お二人はこの方の関係者ですか？
Do either of you know this woman?
いいえ、家の前で倒れていたので救急車を呼んだんです。身元はわからなくて。
No, she just collapsed in front of our house. We never met. Oh, we've never seen her before.
そうですか。
Alright.
では付き添いで乗車はされませんか？
Would you be willing to ride with her in the ambulance? The idea of making this old woman go to the hospital by herself just seemed like it would have been a shameful thing to do. Sure, she was a stranger. But we had a lengthy conversation mere minutes before. So I couldn't very well say we had nothing to do with one another.
ゆい、あんたは学校行っといで。
Yui, we need to get to school.
でも
What? But
この方にはお母さんがついていくわ。あんたは今日面接の練習があるんでしょ？
don't worry. I'll go with her to the hospital. You have to practice for your interview today, right?
そうだね。
Yeah, I guess I do.
それじゃあお母さんお願い。
Thanks, Mom. I'll leave her to you then. Good luck. I was a little hesitant, but I knew I really had to go to school today, no matter what. So I left the strange woman in my mom's care and, heading for the school, walked right by her stretcher. Suddenly, a hand rose from the limp form of the old woman and grabbed my skirt. Startled, I tried to jump away, but found myself ensnared by her terrible bloodshot eyes. You must not go. After school, once my final practice interview had concluded, I reunited with my friends and engaged in the usual regimen of gossip and small talk.
ってことがあってね。
Can you believe that?
かわいい。
That's really scary.
何よそれ。
The hell is wrong with her? When I described the events of that morning, everyone's eyebrows rose. They were hanging on to my every word and yelping in unison at key moments.
ゆい、今日は家でおとなしくしておけばよかったんじゃない？
Yui, maybe you should have stayed home today after all.
だって今日は面接の最後の練習があるからどうしても来たかったし。
Well, but I had the practice interview. I couldn't miss that, you know?
何か起きないといいけど。
I just hope nothing bad happens.
やだ、やめてよ。何も起きないって。
Oh, come on. What could happen?
思い出した。
Oh, you know what? I do know what. We're gonna have a party.
え？
天神症って言葉がちょっと引っかかってたんだけどさ、七不思議に出てくるんだよね、天神症。
When you mentioned Heavenly Host Elementary, I thought it sounded kind of familiar. And I just realized why. You know the Seven Wonders, right?
七不思議ってうちの学校に伝わる如月学園七不思議のこと？
Seven Wonders. I mean those urban legends about Kisaragi.
そうそう。
Yeah, those.
天神症って何？
Does Heavenly Host Elementary have some connection with them?
放課後のよしえさんって言うんだけど、聞いたことない？
One of those stories called Yoshi After School. Have you heard of it?
知らない。
Definitely not.
私も知らないよ。どんな話なの？
I never heard of it either. What's it about?
如月学園が建てられる前にこの場所にあった天神小学校での話なんだけどさ。
Well, it takes place at Heavenly Host Elementary, which once occupied the same plot of land where Kisaragi Academy now stands. Oh, okay.
その天神小学校で放課後校舎の見回りをしていた女の先生が誤って階段から落ちて死んだんだって。
It said that one day after school, a female teacher who had been patrolling the grounds slipped and fell down the stairs and died.
その日は10月のちょうど今日みたいに雨が降る放課後で、時刻はそう夜の7時を過ぎたあたり。
The accident took place on a rainy October day, just like this one, and occurred just after 7 at night.
こういう日はよしえさんが出るんだって。
And supposedly, Yoshi. I know it's Yoshi, but Yoshi is just in my head now. Yoshi still appears on days like this.
天神小学校がなくなってしまったことに気づいていないよしえさんは、如月学園の廊下を見回って歩いているんだよ。
Ever unaware that she died at Heavenly Host those many years ago, she now walks the halls of Kisaragi Academy, believing them to be her own.
やだ、それ本当？
Come on, no. Is it true?
まあ実際見たことがある人がいるから七不思議になってるんじゃない？
Well, it wouldn't be one of the seven wonders if someone hadn't actually seen it happen, right?
怖。
That's really creepy.
ゆい、今日はもう帰ったら？そのおばあさんの言ってたことちょっと気になるし、ゆいだけ道が違うから一緒に帰れないじゃない？
Why don't you head home, Yui? You're the only one who doesn't live nearby, and we can't walk with you. And given the stuff that old woman said to you.
だね。お年寄りの忠告は聞いておくもんだよ。
Yeah, it's always best to heed the warnings of the heed the warnings of the elderly.
そうだね。なんかゾワゾワしてきちゃったし、もう帰ろうかな。
Might be right. I'm still feeling kind of on edge. Probably best to go home and check in with Mom.
それじゃあ先に帰るね。バイバイ。
I'll see you guys later then. Bye.
バイバイ。
See ya.
気をつけてね。
Take care.
明日ファイトだよ。
Give it everything you got tomorrow. I will.
私は
Did you have
慌て
Sukasa's
て荷
pencil?
物をまとめ教室を飛び出した。
I quickly picked up my things and rushed out of the classroom. Check for his
時
pencil.
刻は夕方5時になるところ。外は薄暗くなってきているけれど、階段の7時までにはまだまだ余裕があった。
It was already about 5. It was getting dark out. But if Kana's story was to be believed, I had until 7 before anything bad might happen.
だから怖がる必要なんてない。と、そう自分に言い聞かせて廊下を進む。
As I continued waiting, wending? The fuck is a wending? As I continued wending my weight on the corridor. The fuck is a wending? I just kept telling myself, there's nothing to be afraid
そ
of.
れでも
The fuck is a
下駄
wending?
箱にたどり着くまでの時間がやけに長く感じられた。
Even so, it felt like it took an extra long time to reach the shoe lockers.
あー、ダメだ。やっぱり怖い。
Man, I'm such a scaredy cat.
よう、シシド。
Oh, hey Shishido.
司くん。
Tsukasa.
今帰りか？
Heading home. Yep.
なんだよ、その満面の笑みは。
What's with the big grin?
なんでもない。ねえ、途中まで一緒に帰ろうよ。
Oh, it's nothing. Hey, why don't we walk together? At least part of the way.
ああ、いいけど。
Sure, I don't mind.
やった。
Great.
司くんの顔を見たら一瞬だけだけど怖かったのが吹き飛んだ。こういう時男の子ってすごく頼りになるなって思う。
When I looked at Tsukasa's face, my fear vanished. If but for a moment. These are the times when it's really nice to have boys around, I thought.
そばにいてくれたら心強いなって無条件に思わせてくれるから。
I felt that as long as he was by my side, nothing bad could happen.
もちろんそれが気になってる人ならなおさら。
Didn't hurt that I had a crush on him. Of course. Of course!
雨は朝よりも弱まっていた。その中を私たちは傘を差しながら歩く。
The rain had let up since this morning, though it was still coming down. Two of us walked side by side, umbrellas held
司
high.
くんとはたわいもない話でそこそこ笑ったりもしたけど、でも私はどこかぎこちなかったかもしれない。
Tsukasa was talking and laughing excitedly the whole time, whereas I probably came off as preoccupied. I'm sure it was
得
awkward.
体の知れない恐怖みたいなものがちらついて、いつもみたいに振る舞えている自信はなかった。
A vague sense of fear flickered inside me, and it was making me extraordinarily self-conscious. I'm certain it must have been reflected in my behavior.
シシド？
Shishido.
なんかお前、顔色悪いぞ。どうかした？
You look kind of pale. Did something happen?
おい、
Hey.
実は怖いことがあって。
Yeah, something scary happened.
怖いこと？
Something scary.
私の様子があまりにおかしかったのか、司くんは心なしか表情をこわばらせて私を見つめた。
I probably seemed really on edge. Tsukasa was staring at me with this look of abject concern on his face.
真剣に話を聞いてくれようとしているのが分かって、私はちょっと嬉しくなる。
I was a little relieved that he'd asked, though. It felt good to tell him what had
今
happened.
抱えている恐怖をできることなら司くんと共有したかった。だから私は今朝あったことと カンナから聞いた怪談話を司くんに話した。
I filled him in on all the details and explained how they related to Kanna's ghost story. And I did my absolute best to convey the dread I was feeling.
だけど司くんは
But Tsukasa was, well,
はあ、七不思議ね。
because everyone does a kisaragi high, huh?
うん。
Yeah.
七不思議を信じるなんて夢があっていいな。
So you actually believe in that stuff? Sometimes I wish you could see the world through your eyes. What?
ん？
司くんは怖くないの？
You don't think it's scary?
怖いっていうか妙だとは思うけどな。でもその謎のばあちゃんと七不思議なんて単なる偶然だろう。気にしすぎだって。
It's weird, sure. But I wouldn't call it scary. And I wouldn't worry about what that old woman said to you. I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
でも
あんま深く考えない方がいいんじゃね？
Wouldn't it be better not to dwell on it either way?
そのばあちゃんは確かに気味悪いけどさ、ちょっと変わった人だっただけだろ。
I mean, yeah, your encounter with her sounds a little bit unsettling. But she was probably just a little off, you know?
そういうんじゃなくて
That's not the issue here.
え？
解決方法を教えてほしかったわけじゃないよ。
I wasn't asking you to solve my problems for me.
あのね、私は話を聞いてほしかっただけなの。
Look, I just wanted to vent, okay? I just wanted you to listen.
話なら聞いたじゃんか。
What do you mean? That's what I've been doing.
だからそうじゃなくて
No, not like that.
はあ、わかんねえよ。なんか怒ってんのか？
I don't get it. Are you angry about something?
男の子ってこういう考え方をする。
Guys always do this. That's why you explain. Girl, you say I just want to vent. You say, help me with this. Don't just assume. With anybody, don't just assume.
人によるのかもしれないけど、でも女子とは違ってすぐにこうすればいいじゃんって解決法を提示しちゃうのだ。
It varies from person to person, of course, but guys invariably jump right into looking for solutions to your problems, giving you advice on what to do.
結果、女子は言いたいことが言えなくて消化不良になってしまう。
As a result, girls often can't be totally honest with them. Or don't want to be, at any rate. And are forced to just bottle up their feelings. No! The fuck? The only reason you're doing that is because you're not communicating properly. All you have to do is say exactly what's up. If you don't do that, how the fuck are you supposed to actively communicate? I don't know what the hell Miss Yui's on, but it's not the good shit.
私は司くんと恐怖を共有したかっただけ。司くんが一緒に怖がってくれればそれでよかったのに。
I wanted Tsukasa to share in some of my fears. If you were scared with me, that would have been enough. Of course he's not going to be scared with you. Idiot. No one wants to be scared with you. They want to help you, so that way you're not nearly as scared. Come on. I haven't done that. Even I knew this when I was in high school.
この時の私は気にするなって言葉が司くんの気遣いだとわからなかった。めんどくさいのかなってむくれてしまったのだ。
I didn't realize then that Tsukasa telling me not to worry was just his way of showing concern. I just thought he was brushing me off, and frankly that annoyed me.
朝に見たおばあさんの顔が、目が、しわがれた声が何度も頭の中でフラッシュバックする。
My mind flashed back over and over again to the face, the eyes, and the hoarse voice of that old woman.
それが怪談話で増幅されて、じわじわと私の気持ちを暗くした。
Amplified and distorted by the ghost story, these images gradually darkened my
あん
mind.
なに怖い思いをしたんだからっていう甘えや八つ当たりの気持ちもあったんだと思う。
Maybe I was traumatized by the events I'd experienced. But maybe I was just frustrated and needed to lash out. I don't know.
私と司くんはこの時初めて気まずい雰囲気になった。
For the first time ever, things had become decidedly uncomfortable between the two of us.
それじゃ私こっちだから。
Okay, well this is me.
おう
Right.
シシド
Shishido. He called out my name. I briskly walked away. I didn't really know why I was so angry or confused. But I didn't notice that his voice was tinged with concern.
なんかあったら連絡しろよ
If anything should happen, feel free to contact me. I considered turning back for a second, but changed my mind, pushed forward in a huff, leaving him behind.
ただいま。
I'm home.
ゆい、
Yui,
おかえり。
welcome back. From the sound of her voice, that old woman said.
うん。
Greeting me at the door, my mother wore a somber expression. I could tell right away that something had happened. I stared at her with scrunched eyebrows for an awkwardly long time before she eventually, reluctantly, opened her mouth to speak.
今朝のおばあさんね。
About that old woman from this morning.
うん。
Yeah.
さっき亡くなったって病院から連絡があったわ。
The hospital contacted me. She passed away a short while ago.
嘘。
They're playing the typical sound effects at the worst fucking time. They're like, she's dead. Dun dun dun! Not like we already knew. We knew that she was going to die just so fast. I don't know why they're playing it up when everybody knows.
残念なことだけど。
I'm so sorry.
あなたは明日の推薦入試のことだけ考えていなさい。
You need to stay focused on tomorrow's exam right now, though. What happened? Yeah.
それじゃあのおばあさんの話はこれで終わり。さあ、ご飯にするから着替えておいで。
We should put this unpleasantness behind us. I'm getting dinner started now. So how about you go get changed?
わかった。それじゃあ私部屋にいるから。
Okay, I'll be in my room.
ええ、
I'll call you.
お母さんがキッチンへと引っ込んでいくのを見届けて、私はもぞもぞと靴を脱いだ。気持ちは一層重くなっている。
I watched my mom work her way to the kitchen, then wring down my shoes. My mood had darkened even more.
司くんにあんな態度をとってしまっただけでも嫌な気分だったのに、あのおばあちゃんが亡くなってしまっただなんて。
Tsukasa's attitude had been bad enough, but for that old woman to have died. Returning to my room, I couldn't muster the energy to do anything but collapsed into my chair and sprawl out onto the desk.
行くな
You must not go. The last thing that old woman had said to me echoed again and again in my mind. I began wishing I'd taken her more seriously. I should have accepted the paper doll and thanked her. I should have reassured her I wouldn't go to Heavenly Host Elementary. I mean, the place didn't even exist anymore, for goodness sakes. I was exhausted. It was a hell of a day, and I no longer even had the energy to move. I needed to change out of my school clothes, but still sprawled out over the desk, my eyelids drooped and closed. I was out. Oh, she has a cute room. I woke with a start. The air in my room had gotten noticeably cooler, and I was shivering.
寝ちゃった。
I must have fallen asleep. Rubbing my eyes, I glanced at my clock. The needles indicated it was 6:45.
もうこんな時間。
It's already this late. It was black outside my window, streaked with the lines from the still pouring rain.
明日は晴れるといいんだけど。
Sure hope it's sunny tomorrow. Sunny, for my exam. The weight of what the next day held for me came rushing into my mind. I'd practiced the interview process with my teachers quite thoroughly, but I was still really nervous.
そうだ。明日の用意しておかなくっちゃ。
Okay, I need to make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. There was still a little time before dinner. My mind swimming, I decided to take this opportunity to clean out all the notes and textbooks I wouldn't need tomorrow from my bag.
残しておくものは学生証でしょ。それからハンカチとティッシュ。
Let's see, student ID needs to say obviously, handkerchief and
受
tissues.
験票も忘れずに入れて、それからペンケース。
Gotta make sure I don't forget my exam ticket. Oh, my pen case.
あれ？
嘘！
ペンケースがない。
Ah, crap, where's my pen case?
学校に忘れてきちゃった。
Did I leave it at school?
さーっと血の気が引いた。
My face suddenly went pale.
別に筆記用具で困ったわけじゃない。家にはいくらでも代わりがある。
Really, I shouldn't have been too concerned over writing implements. We had tons at
だ
home.
けど、あの中には司くんから借りた受験必勝鉛筆が入っているのだ。
But that case held the pencil that Tsukasa had given me for guaranteed success on my exam.
取ってこなくちゃ。
I have to go get it. No! Miss Yui, no!
お母さん、私ちょっと学校に忘れ物取りに行ってくる。
Hey, Mom. I forgot something at school, so I'm going to run back for a sec.
え？もうすぐご飯できるわよ。
What? But dinner's almost ready.
すぐ戻るから。
That's okay, I'll come right home.
そう。雨も降っているし、気をつけていくのよ。
Alright. It's still raining though, so be careful. I will.
あの鉛筆は絶対に明日試験会場へ持っていかなければならないものの一つだった。だから私は迷うことなく学校に戻る道を選んだ。
That pencil was one thing I absolutely needed to bring with me to the test. And so without hesitation, I ran back down the road to school.
降りしきる雨の中、足元に気を配りながら全速力で走る。走っている間、ちらりと頭をよぎるのは起きた時の時間だった。
I was sprinting as close to full speed as I could get without slipping in the downpour. All the while, the numbers on my bedroom clock ran through my mind.
6時45分。七不思議で語られていた時間は夜の7時。
6:45. And if Kana's story was to be believed, Yoshi haunted the school building at 7. The lights are still on. That's bad for business.
校門前に着いて真っ先に時間を確認した。校舎についている大時計が指し示す時間は6時55分。
As soon as I arrived at the gate, I glanced up at the large clock adorning the schoolhouse. It was now 6:55.
放課後のヨシエさんの怪談話が再び頭をよぎる。
Yoshi, after school. I went over the whole scenario in my head again, as best I could to recall.
10月、雨が降る放課後、夜7時。
After classes on a rainy day in October, 7 at night.
あのおばあちゃん、もしかしてこうなるのが分かっていて。
But that old woman somehow knows what happened.
やだな、もう怪談なんてあんなの作り話だって。
Get a hold of yourself, Yui. It's just some old campfire
込
tale.
み上げてくる恐怖を抑えつけるために声を出して自分を叱咤する。
I was talking to myself, reprimanding myself in an effort to quell the fear that was welling up in the pit of my stomach.
見上げた校舎に人影はない。こんな時間なら生徒はもう帰宅しているだろうし、先生だってどれくらい残っているのか。
There wasn't a soul to be seen on the grounds. By this time, all the students had gone home. I wondered if any teachers were still around.
けれど廊下の電気はまだ全てついていた。あれだけ明るければそこまで怖い思いをしなくても教室まで行けるだろう。
Fortunately, the lights were all still on, so it was bright enough that I felt confident I could make it to the classroom without freaking out.
よし、パッと行ってパッと済ましちゃおう。
Okay, I'll just run up, grab the case, then come right back down. I folded up my soaked umbrella and left it on the rack at the entrance, then changed into my indoor shoes. Then, entering the brightly lit hall, I took another look around.
やっぱり生徒は誰も残ってないみたい。
Guess I was right, nobody's home. My deep sigh echoed through the deathly silent corridor. Ordinarily, the din of the other students would drown out noises like this, but every little sound was coming through crystal clear at this late hour.
急がなくちゃ。もうすぐ7時だ。
I need to hurry, it's almost 7. I nervously sauntered toward classroom 3-4, picking up speed as it occurred to me to do so.
今朝のおばあさんね。さっき亡くなったみたい。
About that old woman from this morning, she passed away a short while ago.
その天神小学校で放課後校舎の見回りをしていた女の先生が誤って階段から落ちて死んだんだって。
It's said that one day after school, a female teacher who had been patrolling the grounds slipped and fell down the stairs and died. Fun fact, this is the story that Ayumi was saying at the very beginning of the first Corpse Party game.
その日は10月のちょうど今日みたいに雨が降る放課後で、時刻はそう夜の7時を過ぎたあたり。
The accident took place on a rainy October day, just like this one, and occurred just after 7 at night.
こういう日は吉江さんが出るんだって。
Supposedly, Yoshi still appears on days like this.
天神小学校がなくなってしまったことに気づいていない吉江さんは如月学園の廊下を見回って歩いているんだよ。
Ever unaware that she had died at Heavenly House those many years ago, she now walks the halls of Kisaragi Academy, believing them to be her own. It's been a while since I've saved. Well, you're all about to witness my shame. Yeah.
もう何考えてるのよ私。七不思議なんて司くんも言ってたじゃない。深く考えない方がいいって。
Jeez. What the hell is wrong with me? Why am I letting this bother me so much? Tsukasa was right, I shouldn't dwell on this. Lightning flashed and thunder resounded with impeccable timing. I jumped in spite of myself.
とにかくパッと教室に行ってペンケース取ってこなくちゃ。
I just needed to hurry up these stairs, grab the pen case, and get the hell out of this creepy building. No ghosts should show up in a well-lit building like this, right? And even if they did, they wouldn't be very scary under all these bright lights.
あのペンケースに入ってる鉛筆は明日の試験にどうしても必要なの。
I absolutely need that pencil for tomorrow's
だっ
test.
てあれは司くんがくれたお守りなんだもの。
It's a good luck charm after all, and it's from Tsukasa. I picked up the pace as I continued to head straight for room 3-4. Girl, the fuck?
中等部の方はもう真っ暗だな。やっぱり誰もいないのね。
The middle school is already pitch black. I guess there really is no one else around right now.
それにしても今日はいつもよりこの廊下が長い感じがする。ただでさえこの廊下で遅刻しそうになるくらいなのに。
And this hallway feels longer today than it ever has before. Was it always like this? Can't imagine I'd ever be on time if it were. I continued my brisk walk down the impossibly long hallway toward my goal, jumping every now and again whenever another thunderclap sounded. Kisaragi Academy was comprised of both a middle school and a high school, and this evening it really felt like it was flaunting its massive size. Didn't help that my classroom was in the high school wing, which happened to be past the middle school, making it much further away.
いつもは賑やかな場所がこんなにも静まり返っていると余計に物寂しい気がするな。
When a building that's usually full of life goes completely quiet, it becomes such a lonely place.
雨の音がやけに大きく聞こえるよ。
I swear I can hear every drop of rain, every drop of your sweat. I focused on the scant few sounds around me as I paced down the long, lonely corridor. Then, all of a sudden, the lights go out. I heard a faint noise, as if someone playing an organ.
今の空耳だよね。
That was just,
そうに決まってるよ。
that was just my imagination, right? I mean, it had to be.
こんな時間に音楽室で楽器を鳴らす人なんているわけないし。
There's no way anyone would still be here practicing, right? I took a deep breath, trying to calm my nerves. It was probably the sounds of the rain, wind and thunder mixing together. It was just sound like an organ, that's all. I was convinced. I kept walking. But then, lights go out. I heard the same words again. This time, much more clearly. It was unmistakable.
嘘やだ。
No, no way. I was paralyzed with fear. My heart was pounding, as if it was struggling to break free of someone's sinister grip.
きっとまだ吹奏楽部の子とか先生が残って弾いてるんだよね。そうだ、そうに決まってるよ。
It's probably just some devoted member of band, or a teacher who's working late. I'm just being stupid. Thinking about it, I vaguely recalled someone mentioning an upcoming performance by the Wind Instrument Club. I guess an organ would qualify. Someone must have been staying late to practice. That's all.
何でもかんでも怖い話に直結させちゃいけないな。
I can't get that damned ghost story out of my head. Won't be able to until it comes true. Ayo! Took another deep breath and tried again to calm my
怖
overly
いと
jittery
思ったら
nerves.
何でも怖く思えるものだよね。
I don't think it'd be scary if you think it is. I'd heard that if you let your imagination run too wild, fear can make you see things that aren't there. And my imagination was most definitely running wild.
あとちょっとで教室だから走っていこう。
I'm almost there. Might as well sprint the rest of the way. Speaking of, I'm gonna end the episode here. Terrible segue. But, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you later.